All right, it's great to see everybody. Just finished our walkthrough Thursday. We're kind of trying to start prepping these guys for more of a game week. Next week we'll actually have a simulated game week, all the way up into going to the hotel and the way we eat on a Friday night, going to the movies on a Friday night. We're going to try to cover everything, so we're going into Wyoming that we understand exactly where we're supposed to be and what the game week looks like. Still not totally like that, but this was our no sweat Thursday. It should be all mental. We'll come back. The difference is we'll have another walkthrough this afternoon and have some more meetings. Had a really good practice yesterday, very physical. It's good to see some guys, Ty Buchanan. I feel like we won't scrimmage him on Saturday, but he'll get a full 2 weeks getting ready for Wyoming. Looks great. Ty Matthews, he looks really good. Again, we won't scrimmage him on Saturday. Just, we don't want to push that calf in a live scrimmage yet, but feel great about the 2 weeks going in. And then, bumps and bruises, but everybody else is doing really good. Was happy with yesterday. Yesterday was 2-minute drill, coming out, goal line, 4-minute drill. So yesterday was all situational football. I thought they handled it well. And then we'll do it again. Be a lot of situations like that in the scrimmage on Saturday to get ready for Wyoming. So with that, any questions? No, you're good, man.
I was going to follow up on Ty Buchanan and Ty Matthews.
Yeah.
Actually, if you're not scrimmaging them, who is the other backup tackle then that's benefiting from Ty? That's stepping in with Ty out, and what other backup linebacker would be getting rested? Tyreek.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like you never want injuries or anything, but Michael Dingle has had a ton of reps with the number 2 group. So that's been really good. You're growing up a freshman that's extremely talented, really, really fast. It's always, as long as it's like one of those non-season ending injuries to where you make, your stomach falls out for the kid. But whenever you have guys that are banged up, sometimes you got to look at it as a positive. Jacoby Jackson has played guard. He has played tackle. And then yesterday we had a goal line live situation, and he was our heavy tight end. And so it's been really impressive. The kid absolutely has changed his body. I kind of talked about it before. He was at 340 last year. He's 315 pounds. Feels great, moving great, and is so much stronger. So we've actually used, with Ty out, we've actually used Seth Martin has been playing guard, which that's his normal position, and Jacoby's been playing tackle, and really has done a great job. Been proud of the way he's looked.
We've seen the technique. You've added a bunch of speed, but
yeah,
we haven't seen the violence yet. Who has been the biggest hitter, been making the biggest impact? I know you don't want to get your players injured during fall camp, but who's making some tackles that are making you go, yeah, that's what I want?
Well, we practice very physical. You have to. I'm of the opinion that a lot of injuries at the level above of us are happening because of so much changes in football and the way they practice. We're trying to be really smart. We have a quick whistle. I've got the whistle, so we're quick. We have days to where we're a tag day, we're a thud day, and then we'll be live in the scrimmage. But I think Josiah Pierre as an inside linebacker has been really, really physical. Joseph Adedire has been really physical off the edge. It's easy to name the 2 D tackles. Those dudes are animals. What's so much fun is seeing the D tackles and then our interior offensive line. We're so much more physical in the offensive line. I said yesterday to Mason Tharp, he has had a camp as good as any tight end that I've ever been around or watched. Just his change in body. He's 270 pounds, and he can catch the ball. He's got great hands, and he's a really good athlete. But when we keep him in pass pro, he's done a great job in pass pro, and he's been extremely physical in blocking. So, those guys. I think another guy I haven't said a lot about, but Rabbit is having a great camp. He's so vocal. He is the vocal leader back there in the secondary, so been really proud of him. And it's been more thud, but he's been really physical. I mean, he's carrying probably another 8 to 9 pounds than what he played with last year, so there's a lot more thump whenever he's coming downhill.
Following up on that, with a improved offensive line this year, how has defense been pushed by this offensive line? Because they're making more holes, as Coach Perry talked about earlier this week.
Well, it's not just in the run game, but our secondary's having to cover a lot longer because there's not as much pressure. I mean, there was times last year I'd be in practice, and it wasn't just because Tyree Wilson was the #1 draft pick. It was just mass chaos in the quarterback's lap, and you're seeing both quarterbacks have a lot more time. And it's showing up. There's more explosive plays are happening, so that's good and bad because we want to cut down the explosive plays on defense, but some of it is, they're having more time to get open. They're having more time not to hit the check down, but hit, deeper balls. And then it's showing up in the run game, and that's fun because we in our offense, we want to run our quarterbacks, but we don't want to have to run our quarterbacks, and if your offensive line, if you have a good offensive line, then you don't have to run your quarterback. And last year we had to run our quarterbacks more than what we really wanted to.
Coach, you already spoke on the veterans that have had a really good fall camp so far. What about the youngsters? Those guys coming in, anybody that's really caught your eye?
I've been really happy they were here. They're mid-year freshmen, so it shows up because they know the defense. But the 3 DBs, Chapman and B.J. Jordan and Jordan Sanford have all done really good. I feel really good about them. But a local guy that I just think is going to be a star. Again, we'll see how much he plays as a freshman. But Marcus Ramon Edwards is, he's a special athlete. He's very serious about football, and so I'm really excited about him. The young guy is another young guy that played really well. He actually got some guard and tackle in the scrimmage. Is Caden Carr, very physical kid, and he's a kid. He's really athletic for a kid that's 325 pounds, and he loves contact. And so that's another guy. Don, whenever you were asking that, he's another guy that's got some tackle, and it's fun to see because we want to play him at guard, but he's athletic enough to play tackle.
Defensive backs, I guess, what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
You kind of answered some of that, but how have they dealt with the offense being a little more effective and just trying to improve from last year?
I just, try not to get frustrated because there's some things that we definitely have to improve on in our pass rush, but, just understanding their coverage. We have a lot of defense in, which is a good thing because you're going to cut it down during game plan. You're eliminating a lot of your calls by who you're playing and what's going to be effective. But, it's really good to see. Lux is a really good football player. He's a huge pickup. He is pushing both Malik and Shad. Shad's having a good camp, but he is really pushing those guys for a starting position. And feel great about him. We've put in all our dimes defense, and so it's good to see him covering the slot. And he's done a really good job there. Jalen Peoples has really shown up, another young guy, but a DB he's having a really good camp. And so excited, that they're getting tested. I mean, the one thing we talk about all the time is we're going to face some really good teams, but we're also facing a really good team every single day. That's why we always talk about iron sharpens iron. There's some serious competition when they go up against each other. It's a very physical. Our thud periods are very physical. We don't want to take guys to the ground, but they're very physical. And then what I love, our DBs are seeing 2 veteran quarterbacks that do a great job moving them with their eyes. And so it's, when we face the better quarterbacks in our league, and, of course, we're going to face some really good quarterbacks in non-conference, it's really training those DBs to be disciplined, stay in coverage, stay where they're supposed to be.
Coach, I know you might not be your main focus right now, but what have you seen from Wyoming and some early scout?
Man, I'm so excited. I mean, you're talking about a coach that's won national championships. I think he won 3 whenever he was North Dakota State. So he's a great football coach. They're very physical. They play with what we're trying to play with. They're a very tough football team, and so that's going to be right now. We're a week away from really diving into more of them, but we've, as far as coaches and everything, have watched them, and our kids ask all the time about them because they're focused on them. But it's going to be a really physical. It'll be a really physical football game.
And correct me if
about one or two more.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but have I seen Matt Young wearing a white jersey working with the tight ends?
Yes. So that was one injury coming out of Saturday that we weren't sure yet whenever I talked to y'all, but Charlie Robinson got hurt, had to have surgery on his ankle, and so the depth that we have in certain areas, always ask guys, hey, look, there's a better chance for you to get on the field this way. He's a big special teams player for us, Matt. And so I was like, hey, I need another guy. He's athletic enough. And so he is actually working with like the 3s and 4s at tight end. Been really proud of him, man. He's eager. He's an old guy that knows, hey, my role is going to be primarily on special teams. Can I find another role to help the team out? And so that's been really good, and he's really smart. So it's easy for a guy like that loves football, that have some football IQ to flip over and pick that up. Yeah. Good observation on that one.
You mentioned Josiah earlier. How have all the inside linebackers looked in camp, and anybody standing out for him?
Yeah, the 2 starters, man. Like Jacob Rodriguez, man, you talking about a guy that has grown. Because you think about it, we all know he's a West Texas kid. He played quarterback, and he was a heck of a quarterback at Wichita Falls Rider. And year 2 of playing strictly linebacker, very instinctual. He's does a great job in coverage, but I think those 2 guys have really stood out. I think when Matthews comes back full, I feel really good because he's played a lot of football. I think you're going to see, like, by the time we get into that game week and go into the game, you're going to see like a Ben Roberts really show up. You're going to see Ty really show up. But those 2 starters, man, I feel really good about. Like, there's definitely been days to where you're like, okay, we have a possibility to be better at that position than we were last year. And man, Josiah, I just can't praise him enough because, he did 2 things for this team. He bulked up to play that edge, and now he's trimmed up. He's still 240 pounds, but it's a different 240 pounds, and sometimes between 238, depending on the day, but still has done a great job for the team, and I'm really happy with what he's doing.
Coach, yesterday you guys announced that the commissioner will be coming next week.
Yeah.
How important is to have Commissioner Yormar come in, get to interact with the fans, but how important is that for your relationship with the Big 12 Conference and with Texas Tech?
Well, it's huge. If you ever get to be around him, he is a ball of energy, and he's extremely positive. He's so intelligent, and so I'm really excited for him to be here. I love being around him. He always had it as a different way of thinking to make, kind of challenge some of the things that you're thinking about, and so I'm fired up. But it's going to be good. I know he's going to talk to the staff and everything, and he'll be around practice, and so excited too, because we've got guys that aspire to do some of the things that he did in his previous life, with Rock Nation and everything like that. And so I think it's really good for those guys to be around him and meet him.
Right. Joey, you mentioned Charlie Robinson getting
hurt.
Is there anybody else who's gotten significant injury?
No, not yet. We've got bumps and bruises. We've had crazy injuries, like y'all saw Steve in a cast, but he's like Tuesday and Wednesday, he's been great. It's a thumb. It'll be a deal to where he'll probably wear that cast for the first couple of games and hopefully be able to come out of it. We felt really good with Bryson Donnell. He's in a cast, but he'll be in a really small cast. Again, it's a thumb, non-surgical, and so he'll be in a smaller cast once we get closer to Wyoming. Just some crazy stuff like that, but nothing other than that one. And knock on wood that it stays that way.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right,
Thanks, Coach.
Thank y'all.